Your team is about to hand a monthly bill to one of these companies, and most people pick the wrong one because they never actually compared what they're paying for. So here's the situation. Teams everywhere are paying for ChatGPT Work. Claude launched its own team plan aimed at the exact same crowd. And now every small business owner, freelancer, and agency lead is stuck on the same question. ChatGPT Work versus Claude, Teams pricing. Which one is actually worth it? Here's the plain answer, up front. For teams whose day is mostly writing, editing, and research, Claude Teams tends to be the simpler, cheaper pick. For teams that live inside heavy tools, image generation, voice, big automated workflows, ChatGPT Work is built to carry more, and it's built to bill more too. That's the surface answer. But the real question is which one is right for your team specifically, where each one quietly breaks, and which line item you should cancel by the end. Stick with me because the pricing traps are not where you think they are. Let me set the table first. Both of these are the business tier of an AI chat assistant. You pay per user, per month. You get a shared workspace, some admin controls, and a promise that your team's data stays out of the training pile. Both companies pitch the same dream. One clean subscription, your whole team plugged in, everyone writing faster, answering emails faster, digging through documents faster. And to be fair, both genuinely deliver a version of that, but the pitch hides the part that actually decides your bill. These two tools do not charge you the same way for the same work, and they do not fall apart at the same place. One is tuned to feel generous on writing, the other is tuned to pull you into features that cost more the more you use them. Quick thing before we get into the criteria. This channel is sponsored by NBC Canada Inc. If you run a trades or construction business and your books are a mess, they fix the bookkeeping disaster that's choking your business so you can finally see your numbers and control your cash. There's a free trades bookkeeping scorecard linked below that shows you how much money your business is quietly losing. Go grab it, then come right back because the pricing stuff is about to get good. Okay, let me break this down criterion by criterion because that's the only honest way to compare them. First criterion, the one that matters most for the average small team, raw writing and reasoning quality on plain text. This is the meat of it. Most teams are not building robots. They're writing proposals, cleaning up emails, drafting blog posts, summarizing long documents, and rewriting the same message 5 ways until it sounds human. On the core job, both tools are strong, but they have different personalities. Claude tends to be the better writer out of the box. It holds a tone, it follows a long set of instructions without wandering, and it's less likely to pad your paragraph with filler. If your team's day is mostly words, that difference shows up on every single task. ChatGPT is no slouch here. It writes well, it reasons well, and it's the one most people already know how to talk to. But on pure writing feel, a lot of heavy writers lean toward Claude. That's the honest read. Here's your first micro warning though. Quality alone does not decide the bill because the second you need more than words, the pricing math flips hard. Let me show you where. Second criterion, everything that isn't plain text. This is where ChatGPT Work stretches its legs. It's not just a text box, it generates images, it talks to you out loud, it runs code and crunches spreadsheets. It lets you build little custom assistants and wire them into other software your business already uses. Claude keeps a tighter focus. It's a serious tool for writing, reading, thinking, and increasingly for coding, but it's not trying to be the everything machine. If your team needs to spin up marketing images or have a spoken conversation with the assistant, that's ChatGPT's yard, not Claude's. So on paper, ChatGPT Work looks like the bigger toolbox. And it is. But here's the part nobody's selling you the bigger toolbox mentions. A bigger toolbox only earns its price if your team actually picks up those tools. Most small teams pay for image generation and voice and custom assistants, then use the plain text box 90% of the time. You're buying a Swiss Army knife to open one letter. That's the trap. And it leads straight into the criterion that actually controls your monthly cost. Third criterion, and this is the whole ballgame, how each one charges you as you use it. Let me explain the mechanism in plain words, because this is where people get burned. Both plans have a base price per user. That part is simple. The problem is what happens on top of the base price when your team actually leans on the tool. On the ChatGPT side, the heavier features are the ones that quietly push you toward more usage and higher tiers. The image generation, the deep research runs, the big data crunching, those cost more compute, and compute is what you're really paying for. A team that gets excited and uses everything can blow past what the base plan comfortably covers and get nudged into a pricier tier or extra costs. Walk one small project through both. Say your team writes a client proposal. On Claude, you draft it, you paste in the research docs, you ask for a tighter version, done. That's mostly text, and the text work is what Claude is priced to be generous with. The meter barely moves. Same project on ChatGPT Work, and the tool tempts you to do more. Generate a cover image. Run a deep research pass. Turn the numbers into a chart. Each of those is genuinely useful, and each of those leans on the heavier, costlier side of the plan. Same proposal, bigger appetite, bigger bill. Now, I'm not telling you exact dollar figures because both companies change their pricing and their limits, and anyone quoting you a hard number today is quoting you something that'll be wrong next quarter. Go check the current per user price and the current usage limits on both pricing pages yourself before you commit. That's not a dodge, that's just the truth about a moving target. But the shape of it is stable and worth saying flatly. Claude Teams is priced to stay boring on your credit card statement. ChatGPT Work is priced to grow with you, which sounds nice until you realize growing means paying. Fourth criterion, the stuff the person who actually pays the invoice cares about, the admin side. Both give you a single place to add people, remove people, and pay one bill instead of chasing 5 personal subscriptions. Both promise your team's conversations stay out of the model's training data, which is the line that actually matters if you're handling client information. This is close to a tie, and I'll say that plainly instead of forcing a fake winner. If you're a 2-person shop, the admin differences barely touch your life. If you're a growing agency that needs tighter controls and clean reporting, you'll want to actually poke both dashboards before you decide, because this is the layer that quietly gets more important the bigger you get. Here's the rehook. Admin is a tie, writing leans Claude, features lean ChatGPT. So how do you actually choose? You choose by being honest about one thing most teams lie to themselves about. Let me get into that. 5th criterion, and this is the one that saves you money. What does your team actually do all day? Not what you wish you did, not the fancy AI workflow you saw in a demo, what you genuinely touch every day. Be brutally honest here, because this single answer decides which plan is worth the price for you. If the honest answer is that your team writes, edits, researches, and answers messages, and that's basically the whole job, then paying for the everything machine is paying for empty features. Claude Teams gives you the better writing at the flatter price, and you skip the tools you were never going to open. But if the honest answer is that your team really does generate images, talk to the assistant out loud, analyze spreadsheets, and wire it into other software, then ChatGPT Work earns its higher bill because you're actually using the thing you're paying for. That's the deal. You just have to be honest about which team you are. 6th criterion, the failure points, because every tool has them and the ads never mention them. ChatGPT Work breaks on cost discipline. Give a curious team an all-you-can-eat toolbox and the bill creeps, tier by tier, feature by feature. If nobody's watching the usage, that's how a plan that looked reasonable becomes a line item your bookkeeper flags. Claude Teams breaks the other way. The moment your work needs a picture, a voice, or a deep integration, you hit the edge of what it's built to do, and you're either working around it or opening a second tool. Simpler is cheaper right up until simpler isn't enough, and both share one honest limit. Neither one is a truth machine. They both make confident mistakes, and if your team pastes their answers into client work without checking, the plan you picked won't save you from that. That's on the humans, every time. So both have real weak spots, which means the smart move isn't picking the perfect tool. It's picking the one whose weakness you can actually live with, and that's exactly the call I want to hand off in a second. Let me put the whole money picture in one place because this is what the comparison actually adds up to. Here's the flat read, no fence sitting. Claude Teams is the value pick for the majority of small teams because the majority of small teams do writing and research, and it does that better for less headache on the bill. ChatGPT Work is the right pick for the minority who genuinely use the heavy features, and for them it's worth every dollar. What this does not mean is that ChatGPT Work is a ripoff. It isn't. It means it's the wrong default. Too many teams pick it because it's the famous one, then pay for a toolbox they never open. That's the mistake. Fame is not a fit test, and it does not mean Claude is automatically cheaper for everyone. If you're the tool-heavy team and you try to force Claude to be the everything machine, you'll bolt on other subscriptions and spend more than you saved. Match the tool to the work, not to the hype. Before I give you the simple rule to act on today, this is a spot for the honest gut check on whether a team plan like either of these is even worth your money right now. Okay, let me be real with you. Don't buy an enterprise plan or a team plan from either of them. You're gonna pay API prices, and API prices are super high. Your employees can run up your bill like crazy, and we're seeing it with corporations right now. They're hiring people back because the API prices are more expensive than an employee. What a company should actually do is get Claude Code for their computers and have a centralized database for every department. If you're an enterprise or if you want your teams to collaborate, everyone just gets their own subscription to Claude. The power users get the Claude Max 20x or the Claude Max 5x, enough power to actually do work and become their AI personal assistants. You're gonna get Claude and hook them up into Slack if you want team collaboration with agents. We're seeing this with OpenClaw. There are products out there like Vector. They are hooking these agents into Slack for enterprise people and then hooking them up into your systems. That takes API costs as well, so that's expensive. You're gonna spend way less money and get way more usage if you just go with the solo plans, connect the solo plans into a central database on your computers, and put the systems in place for when people are using the data so the data doesn't get all mixed up. This is something that you can do. This is why AI engineers and enterprise AI architects exist, to implement these systems into your company so you don't have to, because it is complicated. AI did not just come around and make it not complicated. If anything, AI can write the code, definitely can write the code and build the automations, but it's harder if you can't read the code and you don't actually understand the structure behind what you're building and the workflows you're building. Honestly, API pricing for Claude or ChatGPT is a ripoff. You can do it all with the subscriptions and the CLIs and save a ton of money. Don't use OpenClaw Harness. Don't use Hermes agents. It's a waste of money, it really is. You can get the same usage out of Claude Code in Visual Studio with markdown files, and you can hook those agents up into Slack and hook those agents up into anything if you know how. You can run it off the subscriptions, and subscriptions are way cheaper. With your team, hook up an agent that runs off your business subscription, the Max 20x, hook it up in the Slack, and let your team use that. So here's the rule you can act on today. Answer one question out loud with your team. Over the last month, did we mostly type words, or did we really use images, voice, and automation? If it was mostly words, start with Claude Teams and keep your bill flat. If you honestly use the heavy stuff, ChatGPT Work is worth its price. Just put one person in charge of watching the usage so it doesn't creep. Either way, do the boring step first. Open both pricing pages, check the current per user cost and the current usage limits with your own eyes, and pick based on what your team actually does, not what a demo made you feel. That one habit will save you more than any plan will. If this made the choice clearer, subscribe for plain English AI breakdowns like this one, and tell me which two tools you want me to put head to head next. And a real thank you to MBC Canada Inc. for backing the channel. If your trades or construction books are a mess and you're flying blind on your numbers, grab their free bookkeeping scorecard at the link below and find out how much money your business is quietly losing. I'll see you in the next one.